This is Papa Smurf. You're listening to Our Lifestyle, the podcast, with ODB and the Mayor.
Yo, you're listening to Our Lifestyle, the podcast, also known as OLP. OLP covers a wide range of topics, with the core being the mini truck scene, BMX, skateboarding, hip-hop, culture, 80s, 90s, you name it. So sit back, relax, and enjoy our weekly podcast. Make sure you subscribe via your favorite podcast app and subscribe to our YouTube channel. This is Jason ODB, and I approve this message. Our Lifestyle, the podcast, is brought to you by Custom Car Show Productions, which includes these annual shows: Orange Beach Invasion, March in Orange Beach, Alabama at the Wharf; Scrapin the Coast, mid to late June in Biloxi, Mississippi; SikNic, August in Gonzales, Baton Rouge, Louisiana at the Lamar Dixon Expo Center; Bayou Showdown, mid-November in Slidell, Louisiana. Each of these shows can be found on Instagram and Facebook. Get out there and support the scene. Also, Sparkles Detail, which holds their annual Lowdown show in Homestead Hollow in mid-June each year. Have the clean team that supports the scene detail your ride at the events they attend nationwide. SparklesDetail.com or at Sparkles Detail on Instagram. Make sure you tell them Our Lifestyle, the podcast, sent you. Enjoy this episode. Yo, it's Our Lifestyle, the podcast, episode 132, titled Scrapin the Coast. This episode is brought to you by Sparkles Detail. Have Tim, Tanya, and the team at Sparkles Detail clean your ride at Scrapin the Coast or any show they are attending throughout the nation. Tell them Our Lifestyle, the podcast, sent you. All right, this episode, as I mentioned, is titled Scrapin the Coast, and what better name to use than the title sponsor of our show, one of the title sponsors, and we are finally here. One of the biggest, baddest shows around is going down this coming weekend in Biloxi, Mississippi. Hopefully, Mike, the mayor, will see many of you out there and slap hands. Now, on this episode, I'll be providing the intro. Now, note, in the past, when we would kind of run up to the vacation times, we'd say, hey, we're going to skip this week, but not anymore. You guys notice this year we've kept the pedal stomped, and we're not going to stop. Now, also on this episode, we've got Justin Wyatt, who will join us during my segment towards the end. He's going to discuss East Tennessee Showdown. I'd encourage everyone, show the homies some love. Go out on Instagram and follow East TN for Tennessee, Showdown all together, and go on Facebook and search East Tennessee Showdown. The link is also in their Instagram bio over to the Facebook page. Show them some love, and I know there's a lot of mini truckers up in the area that probably are a good, less than 4 or 5 hour drive. Let's see you come out there. Maddie and I are taking the trip up, as you guys know, and we will be enjoying ourselves. So we look forward to linking up with a lot of new peeps and, of course, seeing some of those faces that we see at shows throughout the nation. We'll also have Mr. Greg Miller on from Custom Car Show Productions. We'll, of course, be talking about his flagship show, and we're looking forward to kind of bringing some of those details. I would encourage you as well. Let's say you're not going to Scrapin. You're like, I don't want to hear this information. Still listen to it, right? There's a lot of good intel that Greg provides and some of the things that he's doing. So if you're a show promoter, gives you an opportunity to kind of listen to his thought process in some of the things that they're doing. But Greg is a huge sponsor, and I'd have to say that if, Custom Car Show Productions and Sparkles Detail, if they weren't on board, and then with some of our additional advertisers and sponsors, I'm not sure that we'd want to keep doing this. So big ups. Those guys are a big fuel to the fire, if you will. We appreciate them. So show them some support, show them some love. You can also follow Scrapin the Coast Show on Instagram and Facebook. Now, the last episode was Cruisin' for a Cause. And this is an episode that I love to put together because not only did Mike and I provide the intro, and we had a lot of updates, Doc came on and discussed what Cruisin' for a Cause is and how him and his partner Matt, how they contribute to the scene. It was really powerful, whether it be like Relaxin the Park St. Louis or Cruisin' for a Cause. There's so many people out there that are doing good for just the communities and things like that, and I love to highlight those folks. So it's awesome that Scrapin allows for Doc and Matt to come out. If you're there, I would highly encourage swing by, throw a couple bucks in, like Doc said, whether it's 2, 5, 10, 20 or more, do a donation into that awesome box that they have where they collect those, and it will go to a great cause. Okay, these general updates are brought to you by HammerDWeekendWear. As always, I encourage you to go to HammerD weekendwear.com, order some merchandise, whether it be sandals, t-shirts, stickers, banners, air fresheners, koozies, you name it. If you add OLP into the notes, Riggedy Ron Perkins will sometimes hook you up with a little something. So he's a good people. Get out there, support him. Remember, he features, just like his banner says above his trailer at shows, real builds. Often imitated, never duplicated. So he is the miggity man. Okay, so I'm going to be on vacation this week with the fam. We, every year, go with Maddie's family, spend some time at the beach. This year will be a little bit more special. My nephew, Damon, is going to be coming with us, and that's Papa Smurf's first grandson. He had a great relationship with Papa Smurf, and they were kind of like best friends. So for my son and Damon to be kind of two peas in a pod, it reminded my dad a lot of when he was younger. He hung out with his cousin Wayne like there was no tomorrow. So it's going to be awesome. Preston's at the age now where if you got kids, you kind of know you get to a certain age where when you go on vacation, you kind of say, hey, who do you want to bring with you? And he said, hands down, my cousin Damon. So looking forward to that. And as I mentioned, Mike is he's taking a little bit of a break. Not just kidding. We're pretty much making this episode happen even with the vacation. Then we've got 2 busy weekends in a row. As you guys know, this coming weekend, Mike will be up at Scrapin the Coast. He's also taking Shannon, a.k.a. Mrs. Mayer, and then some friends as well. Dustin, he'll be there. So they're going to help hold down the booth while Mike is out there shooting photos, taking video, uploading it for the Airhead Nation, and really doing what we really pride ourselves on when we go to shows. We easily, I would say after Scrapin the Coast, we'll easily walk away with that week with 200,000 impressions. And that means a lot because when we're taking that video and we're posting it and we're posting those photos, it gets seen, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, and then it, of course, links over to Twitter. That's a lot of impressions for 1 week, and we love doing it. So if you want us to come out to your show or you want to advertise on the podcast, reach out to us. It's simple, ourlifestylepodcast@gmail.com. You can send us a direct message, but I'm not on Facebook as much. It's just easier if you send an email. Most of the shows that you hear us talk about, a lot of those guys are advertisers, and it allows for us to try to make it to their show, and then also, of course, highlight, as we are a little bit later with Justin and East Tennessee Showdown. Okay, podcast updates brought to you by our friends over at the West Coast Influence. Visit minitruckfilm.com. If you haven't ordered the Blu-ray or DVD, please do so. There is a custom Hot Wheels out there. A few shirts are still available. Radar is telling us there is more to come. And as promised, very soon we'll have a little bit of audio from Radar to talk about the West Coast Influence. Great brand. Love the shirt. Love the font. My favorite shirt that I have has the pink font on the front that says the West Coast Influence with the classic mini trucks on the back. Now, Miggity Mike, the mayor, and Mrs. Mayor have been doing a fantastic job banging out the orders. As quick as they come in, they ship them out, and they do highlight some of those orders in the Airhead Nation group to show the support of some of our listeners, if you will. So get out there. It's ourlifestylepodcast.bigcartel.com. I'll give you a little bit of a secret. It's even easier if you just Google OLP, Big Cartel, right? All separate. Boom, it'll bring you right to the site. There are still a few Mike Dominguez shirts, a couple of ballistic shirts depending on the size and color. There's also various stickers. There's a keychain out there. And there are some of the new Down with OLP shirts. What we did is the few extras that we ordered through Graphic Disorder, we update that inventory real time on the site. That way you can still go out there and order it. Now the pre-orders will come with the classic artwork on a sticker, which is a 4x4 sticker. Big ups and thanks to Graphic Disorder. Highly encourage, if you need shirts done, hit up Graphic Disorder. Great people, great service, and they communicate awesome all through email. Makes it super simple. So thank you to Miggity Mike the Mayor and Mrs. Mayor for the work that they do to get those shirts and all that merchandise out. We still have another shirt coming. I'd say sometime in early July, we'll do the pre-order on it. You're not going to want to miss out. And I do encourage people to pre-order the shirts because, like in some examples, I had a buddy that texted me this morning and he said, yo, I got a guy that's a big Mike Dominguez fan. He wants to buy a shirt. He needs a large. Sent him the link. I took a quick look at the inventory. All we have left is raspberry. I love the color, but let's say you wanted black or teal or one of those other colors. Man, once they're gone, it's not always guaranteed that we're going to go back and do a repurchase of those shirts. So something just to keep in mind there. All right, the scene updates brought to you by Sparkles Detail and Custom Car Show Productions, which, as you guys know, includes Orange Beach Invasion, Scrapin the Coast, which is this weekend, SikNic, and Bayou Showdown. Each of those 4 shows, including Sparkles Detail, they are on Instagram and Facebook. Search them up, hit like on their pages, and attend those shows. We appreciate it. All right, so the one I wanted to talk about this week, and this one will be a little bit shorter because of the tight turnaround time from posting the last episode to getting this audio completed. But the real, as Papa Smurf would say it, I said the real Matt Smith on Instagram is Red, REDDWUD. He's also on Facebook. And Matt is a great dude. He's a great family guy. And more importantly, not like some of the other Matt Smiths, one in particular from this area where I live, he's not a dirtball. He's not a dirtbag. So little bit of a joke. Some of you guys will get that. But Matt Smith, good dude. Look him up on Facebook. He has a photo of him in a red shirt. And for his avatar, you'll see him holding the little baby. I guess it was his son. I'm guessing. But he posted up the Saturday morning on the 15th, and he said, leaving to go to our first show with father and son's trucks. His will be a driver, though, haha. And it was kind of funny because his son's truck was on the trailer, and his truck's parked right next to it. Well, of course, they're going to swap those up, He's going to throw Redwood with all the awesome airbrush work from Airbrush This. Our friend Jason, he's the one that painted the Papa Smurf item for me, so I thank him for that. But Redwood and all the wood that's painted on it, the wood grain from the interior. I mean, this truck is just so iconic, one of my favorite trucks ever built, and I'm glad that he finished it. But more importantly, it is great to see the younger generation getting involved. And, man, if you're Matt Smith's son, it's like, how can you not love mini trucks? His dad's been doing this for 30 years. His dad was, if you guys will probably recall, he was sitting in the cover back in the day when Figment was on the cover. The Isuzu with the rear engine, that's his homie or friend. And then there was Bob from Mad Mods. His Isuzu was also on the cover, but Matt is the guy in the FSU hat. So he's been doing this literally about 30 years, and it's awesome to see his son and him getting out there enjoying their time together. So good stuff. I don't know if Vance posts a lot. I don't think he posts a lot on Instagram. I just looked. But, man, his son has really grown up. You can follow him. It's Mini Truckin Son. And then there are underscores in between that on Instagram. I don't think he posts much, like I said, but really good kid. I can't believe how much he's grown up since I first met him. Kind of reminds me of my son because my son's 13, and I can't believe he's going to be 14 this year. And, man, they just hit that certain age, and they start changing. Their voice changes. You know, Preston's got braces. I think Vance might too as well. But, man, time flies, and big ups to Miggity Matt Smith. They're real. I said they're real, Matt Smith. Also, wanted to give, this is pretty cool, man. At Relaxin the Park, St. Louis, I bumped in, well, I'll say I met Tony Moore finally for the first time, and he's a really good guy. His parents, they accompany him and his brother as they go to shows throughout the nation. You know, they're probably retired and they're just enjoying life. And he posted up over the weekend that happy 50th anniversary to the best parents a son could ever have. You guys are an inspiration. 50 years together is something many younger people don't see anymore with divorces at such a high rate. And he goes on to just say that he loves his parents. And, you know, he's a good dude. Asphalt Army is an awesome brand that he's built. And I just wanted to kind of give him another shout out there because 50-year anniversary. I mean, shit, I've never done, I can't claim anything for 50 years, right? I haven't even hit 50, but imagine your parents being together for 50 years, and, man, they travel, as Papa Smurf did with me. They go to mini truck shows, and I'd be willing to venture they've been to more mini truck shows than a lot of, some people in the scene, and I mean that with all due respect. They're good people, so look them up and let them know that you heard the shout-out on OLP. Big ups, Tony. So we will have more scene updates on the next episode as we kind of curate those over the next week or so. Hoping that we'll have a couple new magazines we'll be able to talk about. Really looking forward to the new All-Time Low magazine. Now, what's hot on social media? This one is something near and dear to my heart. It's also brought to you by Garage Gear Clothing. Visit garagegearclothing.com. Just know when you hit the site, whether it's a full-size shirt with dualies, 88 to 98 gang shirts, really classic, or mini truck shirts, right, with the 720s and so on, lanyards. They even have their Instagram feed that kind of connects over there. So garagegearclothing.com, hover over shop. They've got shirts, hats, women's, youth, and accessories. Get out there, let them know in the notes when you order that OLP sent you. They even have the 4-inch logo sticker 2-packs are only $5. Garage Gear lanyards, those are also $5. So like their page on Facebook for us, and we appreciate y'all. Okay, so we just had Flag Day the other day, and Flag Day is something that really brings out a lot of awesome photos, and this year it was on June 14th. It was celebrated on June 14th. It commemorates the adoption of the flag of the United States on June 14th. Get ready for this, 1777, by resolution of the Second Continental Congress. And that's, of course, according to Wikipedia. But there's a lot of awesome photos that kind of go around, and one of my favorites is a photo that I believe John Kelly took. And I'm sure various astronauts have taken a similar photo. But NASA.gov, I see the photo here, and I follow John Kelly on Twitter, I think it is, and possibly Instagram. But I love the photos when the American flag is kind of just floating in the International Space Station, and then Earth is right behind it. It's just mind-blowing. The one I'm looking at here on NASA, it says, on the International Space Station, June 14th, 2015, the crew of Expedition 44 prepared to observe Flag Day in the U.S. in the Cupola, the 360-degree observation point. So very, very, very awesome, and it's so classic. I don't know if John Kelly, I'm sure that he took one of those photos. I think he was in the really taking a lot of photos, but regardless of who actually took the photo, it is just amazing. So congrats again, Flag Day, for us in the U.S. That means a lot to us. And there was also the video of Sammy Sosa back in the day when he has the flag and he runs from like home field up in the Wrigley Field all the way out to the I think the warning track, and just hauling ass, just holding the flag up. So love seeing that stuff. All right, ODB live and uncut. If you are a longtime listener, you know that this was something that we kind of did and we toyed around with. Biggity Mike the Mayor would sometimes go postal, which is a tie-in to his profession. But ODB, live and uncut, for those that don't know, my moniker is really a nod to the late, great, old, dirty bastard. When my good friend John and I were, we were best friends from middle school up, and his mom started calling me ODB, or Old Dirty Ballard, because we loved the Wu-Tang so much. We went, one year we drove to the Wu-Tang, or the Wu-Wear store, which I think was in 96, because we got the Ghostface Killah Iron Man stickers there. We also had bought a bunch of Wu-Wear when it first came out, and she just knew that we were addicted. 36 Chambers, all the members, so on and so forth. So my nickname, ODB, is really, that's where it kind of started from. So if you listen to the first Wu-Tang album, you'll know there's the famous saying, Hut 1, Hut 2, Hut 3, Hut, Old Dirty Bastard, live and uncut. And that's sometimes the audio that we would use to intro this. But kind of a touchy subject, but I did want to just mention that with car and truck clubs lately, something that I've noticed is, in this, don't get me wrong, this isn't going for, or, this isn't going at one particular person. This is just my interpretation of it. But there's a lot of OGs in the scene. And, people even call me an OG. Like, I've been doing this 23 years. I've been in the truck club that I'm in for 20. But I don't look at myself as an OG. Someone like, the real Matt Smith, or so many others that have been doing this even longer. Those are the guys, the Pat Nichols and things like that, the Ruben Arteagas. Those guys really helped lay the foundation. Sean Mahaney's. So many different names, right? Bob Hayes's, even Ernie to me. Macias, I really look up to him. He's been doing this a long time. He's built so many vehicles over the years, iconic vehicles he cruises. But, something that is just always on my mind is when you're in a car and truck club, and again, this is especially not going towards any of the OGs or people that have been doing this 20 plus years, but I often see people will get into a car or truck club and they kind of just become stagnant pretty quick. And don't get me wrong, I know very well that like in 2004 I met my wife, my future wife at that point, and it seemed like shortly after Preston was born, and I had just bought a house in September 2004, and I was I was pretty young at the time, so things get in the way of. And I call that life, right? So life gets in the way of going to car shows or, going to the local meets. Money is obviously a challenge sometimes because you want to go to shows, but maybe you don't have the funds. And obviously, like finishing a ride. It took me forever to finish my own first, major build. I've had some others in between and kind of thereafter, but I know full well that it takes time to finish stuff, right? But I would just encourage you, if you're an active member of your truck club or, your chapter, try to encourage those other guys and ladies to get out there as well. What I did a couple weeks ago is I asked a question in the Airhead Nation group. And the purpose of asking the question was a lot of the people that are in our group, they are passionate about mini trucks in the scene. And that's why they're in the group, right? So what I asked was, what other hobbies do you have outside of trucks and mini trucks and going to shows? And I left it for like a day, and I went in. I was like, man, I wonder if there's going to be any comments, because there obviously our group has grown. Josh Ellis and many others have been inviting a lot of folks, and it's grown by leaps and bounds. So I go in there, and I was like, holy shit, 99 comments, and there were some good discussions going on, kind of, sub discussions, people kind of commenting back and forth, and it was all positive. And dude, I was blown away. Some of the things that people were into, those other hobbies, if you will, I mean, it just was really like overwhelming. And one of the reasons why I wanted to ask that was, one, I did want to know what are, other people into, but also you got people that are in the scene that also have other hobbies, whether it's fishing or knitting or whatever the hell it is, but they still, the question was, like, how do you still balance that? Like, if I like, go in the NASCAR races, and I go to NASCAR races, well, if I'm a part of the scene, you want to hopefully see me at a car and truck show, a couple times a year, if not a lot more. So what these folks, all the commenters, proved is that you can balance life and hobbies and the mini truck scene. And what blows me away is there's so many people that I just see that just don't go to any shows or any events. When I say any, I'm like, you see them hardly ever. What was awesome when I went to the Trucks and Cheeseburger event is, like, I see people, especially down there, there's a big cult following of mini truckers, right? Like the Eric Cryans at Advanced Audio Concepts, and so many guys, and it's awesome. Like, I see them out there, I know Tom from NC, he wasn't able to make that show or the get-together, the picnic, because he had some stuff that he was literally doing at his house for some renovation-type stuff he's doing, with sprinklers and some of the backyard stuff and all that. So, he wasn't able to go to that. It was fine. But it was cool to see Eric and so many of these old faces. Some I knew, some I didn't, and I love that. But what blows my mind is that people that are in truck clubs that you never see, and you have to almost like pull them out of their chair to even get them to go to one thing in a year. And it's kind of like, man, if you're in a truck club, it's kind of like if you were in a softball league and, you were one of the players and you just stopped going to the softball games and the guys never saw you, or you're in a bowling league and the guys never see you, then they're probably going to say, why are you still doing this? You know what I mean? So, in my opinion, if you're in a truck club and you're stagnant, communicate with the leader of the club or the chapter and just let them know, hey, listen, life's in the way. I've got a lot of stuff going on. You're not going to see me at shows for the next 6 months or whatever, health situations, career situations, whatever. But if you, this is the last thing, right? If you're in a club and no one has seen you for like 5 years, or probably a lot less than that, like, I just don't understand why people hang on to stuff when it's like, if you really love something, why don't you just get out there and do it? I just never understood it. But, looking at some of my chicken scratch here, again, I mean it as a positive. I love seeing people out there, but even some of my close friends, it's like peeling them off the couch to get them to come to a car show is like, I don't understand, or people that say, well, I gotta, I'm busy. It's like, okay, then maybe mini trucking really isn't something that, is your thing, because you don't go to shows. But again, that's my little bit of a rant. You guys may totally disagree with it, but hey, it's on my mind and I want to speak it. Just get out there. Try to encourage your fellow clubmates to get out there as well. I know someone like Tony Boss Bolin, one of my really good friends, man. The guy motivates me all the time. We were texting the other day, and he had some ideas. And he said, yo, man, you should do this, and what about this, and have you thought about that? And I'm like, boom. And immediately I'm like, my brain starts going. So we all need the motivation, me included. But let's hopefully see some of these people that have had, these little bit of a stagnant, deals. And that also goes for, you don't always have to bring a ride out, Lately, I've been going to shows and just representing, taking photos and representing OLP. I'm obviously building the Lincoln, and I'm going to be taking that out and enjoying it. But playing a part in the scene, is many different facets. It's going, helping your clubmates set up the tent, getting the camp set up, showing up, being an active participant. Or it could just be if you have a Facebook group, let your clubmates know what you got going on. Hey, I've been working on my ride. I've been doing this. I've been doing that. So anyways, end of rant. Hopefully you guys appreciate, even if you don't agree, hopefully you appreciate the comments there. All right. Shows. The schedule is brought to you by our friends at All Time Low Magazine. You guys already know atlmagazine.com. They're on Facebook and Instagram as well. Get out there. The new issue is coming, full steam ahead. And Rich and Beth, as well as all the contributors, do a fantastic job with bringing some of the best content out there to the mini truck scene. We appreciate what they do. All right, Scrapin the Coast, you're going to hear from Greg Miller. We got East Tennessee Showdown June 29th. Relaxin in the Northwest, which is The Awakening. That's July 25th through the 28th at the Oregon State Fairgrounds in Salem, Oregon. Now, Mike and I mentioned recently, go out there and look up Custom Life Vlog. That's K, custom with a K. Look at the coverage from last year. I think Grinder TV, and I may have said that wrong because I know that Custom Life has done it, and maybe even Grinder TV, but there's a couple videos floating around from this event last year. Don't just take our word for it. We're going to have the homie on the next episode to talk a little bit about it. It is a show you don't want to miss. The artwork is always epic, and the atmosphere is really mini trucking inspired. So big ups. Maddie and I are going to do our best to try to get up there. We've been monitoring plane ticket prices, but we'll see July 25th through the 28th up at the Oregon State Fairgrounds. Where is it? Oregon? Okay, the Spark Show is August 9th. Really good people. Best way to get some information there is type in The Sparks on Instagram, and you'll see The Sparks Show come up. It is at 754 Old Knoxville Highway in Sevierville, Tennessee. So another show up that way. They're also, from what I understand, they're going to be at East Tennessee Showdown because you'll hear from Justin that the homie helps him as well. So he's going to be out there. And they're also on Facebook so you can get more information. But again, this is a show that I would call as middle ground, especially for the East Coast. Whether you're a little bit north, south, east, or west, get in the car, head over there for the day. Like I said a few minutes ago, get your club mates to get out there. It's free to get in and spectate. And, oh, by the way, it's at a distillery. Who's not going to have fun? Just make sure you got a designated driver is all I ask. So more coming up. As Mike, we really went through this last show we hit on SikNic, so more to come on it. Down for Dennis. The homie's got the bullet points he's going to send over. Bayou Showdown. Big ups to them. And then Lone Star Throwdown. Okay? You're going to want to really follow on their website, Lone Star, LoneStarThrowdown.com. The reason why I say is as we get closer, we'll have Lonnie and Radar on. And when I say closer, I don't mean to the actual show dates in February next year. Okay? What I mean by that is as we get closer to being able to register, when they open that register now on their site, you are going to want to jump on it, okay? Mike and I, we mentioned the last episode, we're going to be at this show. We're going to both roll out there. Really look forward to it. They're great people that support the scene, and they have put in a lot of work to build this show as big as it is, okay? So don't sit home and say, the old days there were shows all the time. There are shows, sometimes you got to drive to them. Sometimes they're in Texas. Sometimes they're the baddest shows around. But Lone Star Expo Center is at 9255 Airport Road in Conroe, Texas, zip code 77303. And like you guys are going to remember that. You're just going to Google it. I know. But their website is really well put together from shirts, show info, sponsors, media contact, you name it. There's a lot of stuff out there, including LST show coverage by whether it be various air suspension companies or different websites. It's all right there, and those links to the YouTube videos are under media. So check it out. It's not just a C10 show. It's not just a mini truck show. It is what I refer to as the throwdown, man, and it is mostly trucks. I've been before. I love the show. I love the showgrounds. Don't let Mother Nature scare you. Get out there no matter what. 2020, it's going to go down, and I can't wait to be there and be a part of the awesome show. All right, Mini Truck Showdown. You guys know we've also talked about this. We've got a lot more coming about Mini Truck Showdown. What you want to do, though, in the meantime is go on Instagram and type in Mini Truck Showdown altogether. That is Kern County Fairgrounds. The weekend before LST next year, February 13th through the 17th. It's a traditional mini-style show. The pre-registration link is in their bio to their website, so you can go to minitruckshowdown.com and find out more information, good people. Just a reminder, go out there on your iPhone, iPad, or through iTunes on your computer and give us a rating, hopefully 5-star. As I mentioned recently, we're up to 123 5-star ratings. We have 69 customer reviews. The review part is the actual what you type out. So even if you just give us a 5-star review, that's much appreciated. And then you can also leave, or a 5-star rating, then you can also leave a review where you type out. If you include your Instagram name or website, we will give you a shout out. All right, sponsors. This section is brought to you by Feltham Fabrication. Follow Feltham_fab on Instagram, also on Facebook. Jason Feltham does killer work, and by the time you're listening to this, you've already seen the board that Biggity Mike the Mayor will pick the winner of at Scrapin the Coast. A lot of time goes into these boards, and we appreciate the partnership with Jason at Feltham Fab. If you're looking for something that is a little custom and it involves paint, hit him up. He'll take care of you. All right, All Time Low magazine. They stay on the rise. HammerDWeekendWear. Visit their website, order some merch. Custom Car Show Productions, including Scrapin the Coast, which you're going to hear from Greg about. Lone Star Throwdown, February 2020. Cannot wait. Biggest, baddest around. There's no doubt. There's no wonder why they call it the Throwdown, Lone Star Throwdown, because damn, it is a truck throwdown for sure. The West Coast Influence. Visit their site, minitruckfilm.com. Garage Gear Clothing. Hit up. You know you want some new merchandise. Hit them up. Sparkles Detail, the clean team that supports the scene. Whether you buy on their website or visit their booth and have them clean your ride at a show, support those that support the scene. And then, as I mentioned, Feltham Fab, big ups. And then, big shout out to SSBB_media. Anthony's a good dude. You heard from him recently. Go out there and follow his page. Let's keep his numbers and his growth on the rise. All right, I'll hit you guys on the next episode with a few movie, hip-hop updates, things like that. Stuff that really can wait till the next episode. The Warriors did go down in Game 6, so I thought, and I really do believe that they would have won the game or been even, I hate to say even closer, but Klay Thompson, I'm sorry to see that he went out and he was injured. I think he tore his Achilles, and it's very sad. Love Klay Thompson in terms of his style of play. He was really kind of feeling it there, man, and he was nailing the shots. But I tell you what, the Raptors, big ups to them, man. Those guys played they played their heart out. So congrats to the whole city. And that was a fun series to watch. I can't wait for the season next year. If all goes well, we will have Jamie Starling. Yes, Jamie Starling from Australia. We've been talking to him for a while. We're going to try to make his audio happen on the next episode. And as you guys know, this episode dropped on Wednesday ahead of Scrapin the Coast. We will not drop an episode on Friday. We'll come back the following Friday, and hopefully we'll have Jamie's audio on it. If not, we do have other guests that we've been working with, and then we'll kind of rearrange the schedule. Now we're going to roll into Justin Wyatt's audio, so stay tuned. Really cool dude, a lot of energy. And then after that, we've got Greg Miller from Scrapin the Coast. enjoy the weekend, guys, and enjoy the rest of the week, then the weekend, and just know that we appreciate all the listeners, the folks that are supporting us, and stay on the rise. We out you. Hey, and as I mentioned, we've got a friend of ours, Justin Wyatt from East Tennessee Showdown. Hey, man, welcome to the podcast. How's it going?
Hey, everything's good, man. How are you, brother?
Hey, everything is good in the hood, man. Appreciate you asking. We it's a pleasure to have you on. Looking forward to kind of talking a little bit about the show. The listeners know that, a good bit about the show because we've been talking about it. It's East Tennessee Showdown. But before we get into that, man, so why don't you do this? Can you give the listeners a rundown of some of the key information about the show, maybe the date, the times, location, so on and so forth?
Let's do it, buddy. It's going to be June 29th. It's at East Tennessee Distillery. That's 220 Piney Flats Road in Piney Flats, Tennessee. We're about 15 minutes from the interstate, from I-26, and it's $20 registration, day of show. Pre-registration's already ended. Spectators are free, and there's going to be a ton of stuff going on. We've got moonshine. It's out of Moonshine Distillery, brother. So, we've got sampling. We've got distillery tours. We've got a lot going on, and it's family-friendly. You can have an adult beverage, and we're still going to have stuff for, the kids to do and hang out, and it's going to be a good time.
That was my first question. In my head, it's like, okay, can we drink on the premises? And you answered that.
Yes, sir.
Awesome. So, in Florida, we've had some shows, and sometimes there's, questions, and this one might be a weird one. I'm going to just throw it out there. Do people up your way, do they bring dogs and stuff like that to shows? And I know that's a weird one, but is that a question you've been asked before?
I actually had that question earlier this week. And yes, you can bring your dog. The only thing we ask is, if he uses the bathroom, man, clean it up. I don't want to clean it up, and I don't want to step in it either.
Bring some grocery bags, right? Keep it on a leash. You're good to go.
Bingo.
I like that, man. Yeah, you guys, really have the plan down. Now, I talked to you a couple weeks ago, and you were FaceTiming me, and I was trying to give a visual to the Airhead Nation. There's some people out there that might be on the fence. Maybe they're 4, 5, 6 hours. I tell you guys, get in the car. Justin just mentioned it's free to spectate, okay? So you got some people that are going to cruise over. Give us a little bit of a visual, a breakdown of you say a distillery. Is it, you got this piece of property. Kind of give us a breakdown of, as far as how you see it in your head, where everything's going to be at.
All right, well, the way that we're going to actually do things a little differently this year. When you pull through the gate, you're going to be asked, obviously the first question is going to be, are you a spectator or are you showing? If you're showing, you're going to go to the right. Humongous field. It's just, they mowed the hay off of it, and we have mowed it. We actually mowed it already this week, and we'll be mowing it for the next 2 weeks. We'll plan on mowing it the Thursday before the show. It'll be nice, good, cut. We're going to go out there and put lines out. For parking, we're going to kind of do, the tents will be in between the rows. We're going to have a road lined out the whole nine to make it very simple to where we can maximize parking. You're going to have room to open your doors. You're going to have, space to put your tent up. And you're going to have, more than enough space to get in and out. We've got trailer parking, which will be right to the left. We've got a paved parking lot to unload your vehicles. We're going to ask most, my thing is we've actually got a school right down the street from where we're at. Mm-hmm. And they've offered to let us put trailers and stuff there. And we're going to, if you can drive your truck, drop your trailer there, save us some room, and cruise it up there. That's what these things are built for, is to drive them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we've got trailer parking. We've got a place for you to unload. We've got, to the right, you got a humongous field. We're going to put all the vehicles there. There will be some other vehicles spread out kind of through the show. But as you go down into the distillery, there's a road that will lead you to the actual still house. and there's a few buildings along the way.
Mm-hmm.
All of your spectators, or not your spectators, sorry, all of your vendors will be on what we call vendor row. So you'll have, you yourself as, one of our vendors, and
Mm-hmm.
you'll have a ton of others down that road, so that as you spectate and you walk around the show, you'll come up and check out the vendor booths and what vehicles they've got with them.
Mm-hmm.
I think everybody will have something, something with them. You can check it out, and then you can work your way up towards the distillery. Before you get to the distillery, the actual still house where you would do a tour or you would sample at, there is a building on your left that is air conditioned. They have a mini bar in there, and that's where you actually can get your slushies, you can get your mixed drink, and so backing up just a little bit, you'll see when you come into the show, there's a building. The first building that you're going to see on your left when you take that road, in behind it is a humongous area behind it. We're actually going to put all of our food vendors behind that building. And the cool thing about it is in that building is where our registration is going to be this year. We're not going to set a tent up outside. We're going to keep the ladies cool on the inside with the air conditioning. Plus, it has a common area. So if you go get some food and you want to chill out and, get out of the heat, I don't know what the temperatures are going to be, but, I'm saying somewhere probably around 70, 80, maybe even better than that. It was really hot last year, but I can't control the weather. I can just control having a good time. And but the good thing about it is you can get you some food and you can go in the common area. There's some couches and some chairs and stuff in there, and you can cool down and eat some food without having to have sweat running down your brow.
Man, dude, it sounds pretty awesome, dude. You got a little bit of a little bit of different stuff for people to do. Now, when you talk about like the kind of the distillery, right? You can go in there. You mentioned the store. So someone that might want to do a tour, right? They can just simply do that. They can pay for that. Or if they just want to go in there and buy some, I guess you just call it moonshine, and you've got some custom logos, right, that they do that day. Can you tell us about that?
Oh, yeah. Well, actually, backing up just a second there, Jason.
Okay.
Distillery tour free. Piney is he's the head guy there. He runs the whole show. He distills everything himself. He'll take people through tours as he gets a group together. I mean, he's not going to do like a one-on-one thing,
Sure.
but as he gets you just for 5 or 6, 7 people, or 7 groups, he'll take them through, show them how they do it. They'll have the bar set up. You've got every flavor you could imagine, and you can try all those, sample them out. But you're exactly right. Back to what you were saying is the cool thing is they take our logo that you can purchase on our shirts or what we use for our flyers. It's on their moonshine. It's got all the legal stuff on the back, but the front of it says East Tennessee Showdown 100% proof moonshine with our logo on the front. And it's a great way to, remember the show or take it home and sip on it for a while and, think about the fun you had hanging out with, old friends and maybe making some new ones.
Man, I like that. It's a really awesome thing, and to me, to go to a show like this, when I pitched it to my wife, she goes, "Now where are we going?" Explained it. She goes, "Let's do it." So I tell people out there, you're on the fence. It's like, look, if you're not going to bring anything, it's free to get out there. You're going to see some of the vendors that you guys love. We'll talk about those in a minute, and then by the way, hit the distillery. Get some booze. I mean, most adults like a little bit of booze here and there, and up that way, you guys make moonshine. So, hey, I love it.
Yeah, and, a question that we get all the time, we've had before is, well, did you have anybody get out of hand? Absolutely not. We're all family here, and the distillery, they deal with alcohol on a daily basis. They, they're not going to keep serving you all day long. They know what your limit is probably better than you do.
Like it. Yeah.
But there was a few people that felt really good, I can tell you that. But we didn't have any issues. There's nothing but love. And like I said, it's family friendly. We're not going to let you get out of hand and act a fool. And if you do,
you'll be
not
dealt
going
with. Yeah, you'll be dealt with. They got a little jail out there. They'll throw you in. Nah, just kidding. Nah,
well, I can tell Piney that runs the distillery. is a big old boy, and I don't think I'd want to be on the other side of him when he's mad.
Yeah, I like that, dude. That's enough to scare some people to pipe it down a little bit. Well, everything sounds really good about the location, and we know the hotels. I know you mentioned about give or take 10, 15 minutes from the highway, but kind of give us a rundown of the hotels, right? So many truckers, they love at night. Usually, I'm guessing a lot of folks are going to be coming in like Saturday, maybe staying the night, that type of thing. The hotel
Right.
is what, give or take 10, 15 minutes?
Hey, dude, exactly. Depending is if you get a hotel room in Johnson City, which is going to be the closest way to in for most everybody, then actually, when you when you get off the interstate, you're going to be, roughly 10 to 15 minutes, depending on traffic from the show. But you also, all the hotels are right there off that exit. All of your restaurants are right there. There's a mall if the ladies want to go do a little shopping. There's all kinds of stuff right there. You've got some some lower end restaurants, as far as your Bojangles and some of your stuff like that, your dollar menu stuff. But there's also a Longhorn, and there's an Olive Garden, and a bunch of other. There's actually a Hooters right there by all the hotels. So there's plenty of things. Depending on what you want to eat, and if you want to sit down or you just want to roll through, everything's right there at your hotel, and you're not 10, 15 minutes from the show, dude.
Man, sounds perfect. And it's not often that we get to go to a one-day show, and I tell people all the time that I really like one-day shows because it's a little bit of a mix, right? We've got plenty of, a 3-day runs, right, where it's kind of like Fridays, more of a setup, kind of people are coming in, and you got a 2-day long show. With this, it's a little bit of a break from the norm, and I like it because it gives you a chance to come in on Friday, enjoy the city a little bit, go to the show Saturday, stay the night, and then, of course, you can head home Sunday morning if that's what you plan to do. I know there's a lot of people up that way within probably a stone's throw. So, for those guys, they roll in Saturday morning, enjoy the show, and then they head home. So it's really kind of in a central point, it seems like, in the map, based upon where we know so many mini truckers live up that way.
Oh yeah, you're exactly right, brother. And the good thing is, we actually made a poll after last year. Last year was our first year. We had a really good turnout. We asked people. We said, dude, do you want a 2-day event? You want us to leave it one day? People want to do a one day. And honestly, as long as, as I do it and, me and Jason and RJ, my partners, can get it done and get it all judged, we would like to leave it a one-day event. You come, you have a great day, and then Sunday you can travel home. That's the thing that we like you say, there's a lot of local guys, but there's a lot of people and a lot of support and love from a lot of guys that are farther away, and they're not going to be able to make it back Sunday. So why not just wrap everything up on Saturday? It saves me from shipping trophies, and hey, it just works better. And that's what people want, and that's what we're going to give them.
Yeah, and it's a good, like I said, it's a good mix because, there's plenty of 2-day shows. There's a few 3 days out there. So it's kind of cool. You guys kind of know your place in this whole scene, and you're like, hey, one day works for us, and it's like biggity boom. Well,
right.
Let me ask you this. So, and you kind of hinted at it, just to be clear, you do have partners in the show, and that's something that I like because, Jay or Justin, you really, none of us can do everything on our own. So how do those guys help you when it comes to throwing East Tennessee Showdown?
Well, to be honest with you, I did a show a few years back. It's been a few years ago, and I did it by myself, and it was called Border Town Showdown, and it was a couple cities over, and we had a good turnout. Things were going okay, but it was just really hard financially to lock everything down, and to come out of my own pocket. And, other than that, it was like promotion, getting everything done, dealing with vendors, the whole nine, with a, regular 9 to 5 or, in my case, a 4 to 5 or whatever. But the thing is with those guys is, they asked me, they said, we need to do another show, or you need to do another show. And I said, we will do another show. I won't do another show. I said, if you want to do another show, then you guys got to jump on board. And that's what they wanted to do. So, I've got Jason McCracken, He takes care of all our finances. I send him invoices for, whatever we need, trophies or porta potties or whatever. He deals with it. He pays the bill. He has a bank account set up for just the show, and he takes care of that stuff. And then when if I need him to do something else, he always jumps right in.
Mm-hmm.
As far as social media promotion, dealing with the artwork, all that stuff, I do that stuff. That's my place.
Oh, cool.
I like kind of being the I'm the hype man, I guess you could say. I'm the yo-yo, and they're just back there kind of scratching on the boards.
Yeah, like I'm the DJ, he's the rapper, that kind of deal.
Yeah, exactly. Then RJ Shelton, he's a really busy guy. We're all three busy, and got our normal jobs, but RJ is really good. He handles all of our vendors. Like if somebody wants to come to the show, wants to vend or wants to sponsor, I shoot them, towards RJ, and I say, this is our guy. You talk to him. He's the guy that you're going to talk to about, what it's going to cost or what we need from you or anything like that or what you need from us. He handles all that stuff, brother. I don't have to deal with it. All I've got to do is focus on getting people there and making sure that everybody has a good time.
Well, I think it's great that you guys kind of have your parts. You have it kind of divided up. I've given feedback to show promoters before and just said, listen, you can't do it all yourself. You got to have your players, depending on if they're business partners or friends, family, club mates, and you guys are handling it really well. Now, you did mention that this is a second-year show, and obviously, if it wasn't successful the first year, you wouldn't be back. But what are maybe just a couple of things that you guys have maybe decided to tweak, so to speak, from year 1 to year 2 to make it even a better showgoer experience?
Well, first and foremost, we had a way better turnout than we anticipated. I mean, and I am so thankful for that. Whenever we put this show on, we just wanted high quality vehicles and we wanted to hang out with their friends. That's everybody's dream, right? Just get a bunch of their buddies come to their town and hang out with them.
Sure.
No traveling for me, right?
Right.
But, we ended up with around 240 vehicles on our first year. We did a top 25 with best ofs. And, of course, we had like our vendors and Mini Movement, Mini Truckers Union. We had a bunch of people come in and they did their awards. Our friend Chad at Elizabeth Customs, he's into the bike scene. So he did his top 3. He built the top 3 bike awards, and we had a bunch of motorcycles there. So it was a little bit of everything for everybody. But to have that kind of turnout, the top 25 just kind of didn't cut it for me.
Mm-hmm.
And so we, the first major change is we went from a top 25 to a top 50
mm-hmm.
because we wanted, more people to be able to get a chance to do something, and dude, we had so many awesome vehicles. You have no idea what it like the stress it was on our judging staff to do a top 25. I mean, the judging sheets don't lie, but man, there was a lot of killer stuff there, dude. The second major change is actually where we put our spectators last year. That field wasn't mowed properly, so we didn't use it. And we lost a ton of space right there. So a lot of people's asked us if we, room-wise, you got plenty of room? Man, we got that field mode where it's going to be lined out. It's, a big open area that's going to really help out. And it's going to free up a ton of room for trailers and parking. And it's going to really just going to make an all-around better experience. And the way we're putting our vendors and the way we're doing our food court this year will just make things. We didn't have a lot of complaints last year. Everybody, kind of gave us a little feedback as far as, like, hey, it was getting a little tight here or a little tight there. We get it, dude. We were kind of winging it. This year, we've got an aerial view. We've got everything marked. We know where vendors are going. We know where everybody's going to be as far as their place on the showgrounds. So it should be a whole lot easier to get everybody in, set up, and then get you out at the end of the day.
Excellent is the only word I can say. I really enjoy when someone looks at, hey, we did good, here's what went well, here's where we can do better, and then biggity boom, a year later you make those necessary changes. You'll probably have less changes this year into year 3. So good work, man. You and your team are trying to enhance the experience for the vendors, showgoers, and the folks that are registering their vehicles, so I love it. You did mention the awards. the question I have is, did you want to give a plug to who made those awards, and anything else you want to share about the awards?
Oh yeah, dude. I mean, Josh Welch.
There you
Last
go.
year, last year we had our good friend Brant and over at Graphic Disorder. He hooked us up, man. He got a new wood burner. We did some really cool awards last year. Everybody enjoyed them, but we try to change it up every year. Josh made some of our best ofs last year. We've used Josh in the past, and he's a great guy, and he always tries to look out for everybody, and he always goes the extra mile. So I got with him, told him everything I needed, and they're looking good, dude. They're looking good. I think he's about got everything wrapped up, and we should be getting those in the next week or so. We've got the top 20 or the top 50, sorry. Mm-hmm. And then we'll have what we call Tennessee top 3. That's your top 3 vehicles underneath of your best of show. We've got best of show car. We've got best of show truck. We've got, of course, your best interior, best engine, best old school mini truck, best under construction. There's a ton of stuff, dude. You've got James from #Mini Movement. He makes his pick. Mm-hmm. Jason Bell stepped up with that Tennessee top 3. Those are going to be awesome. He stepped up. He actually took over and said, hey, man, I want to do this. I'll sponsor it. I don't even know what they're going to look like. Josh hasn't showed me. I have no clue what they've got worked up for those. But I'm really excited about that. We've got, one of our other sponsors and vendors is Black Label Powder Coating. I don't know if you've seen their work, but they're amazing. They do a ton of stuff for a lot of West Coast shops, and he custom mixes stuff. He's got his own pick that he does, and I'm sure it'll be amazing. Last year it was just killer. So whoever got it, I was like, man, I need that.
Yeah.
But I thought maybe that might be wrong or something.
I know, right? You being a promoter, right, and with your team, it's oftentimes you see these like really rad looking awards, and you're like, man, dude, that would look good on my mantle. You're like, I got to give it away. But yeah, dude, that's sounds like the powder coater does really good work. And then, of course, Mike and I will talk about Welch's Chop Shop. They're really good. He came through big for Jason and the team at Relaxin in the Park St. Louis, which was fantastic. And when you can rely upon someone and you don't have to sweat it, Josh always comes through. And then, of course, you mentioned Brant. We love Brant and Graphic Disorder. These guys do a lot for the scene. So much clothing and shirts, and even some of the awards, like you said, come out of his shop there. And it's always cool to see the success that they continue to thrive on. Let me ask you.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry. Let me ask you this, sponsor-wise, right? You've got some vendors coming in. You've got some, advertisers and type of things like that. So tell us a little bit about, throw those guys a bone. I know there's some big names, but, what do you want to share about some of the sponsors and vendors?
First and foremost, Jeremy Carroll that runs Direct Paint and Repair is our guy. Him and his wife, Jennifer, I hit them up every year. It's never a question. They're our title sponsor. I tell him, hey, man, I need this much money. He cuts me a check, no questions asked. And he brings a ton of his own personal vehicles out. He sets up a big booth. He's killing it, man. He's like one of the best dent guys there is. And, in the business, period, point blank, he does everything local around here. So it's kind of a natural thing for us to team up with him. I grew up with him. We've been friends a long time. So he helps us out a ton. I can't thank him enough. Vendor-wise, dude, we've got, John Beebe, Drop 'em Wear. He's coming in. He came last year and was like, dude, I'm coming back next year. Just don't even worry about it. I shot him a message. I'm still coming. He was like, yeah, dude, when you want me there. It was that simple. We've got a lemonade vendor, Packers Lemonade coming, fresh squeezed, handmade. It's like really good stuff, dude. We've got a little bit of everything. Like I said, it's family friendly. We got an Arctic Ice vendor coming. You'll have a kettle corn if you want to get some of that. Johnny Woo, that dude is awesome, man. He goes out of his way for everybody to try to come out and help and support the scene. He did the challenge. I don't know if you keep up with Johnny. He did a challenge for like all the shows that he was vending at this year. Mm-hmm. That you attended every, like he did like a challenge. Like if you come to like an event you get, I think he did bracelets or something along those lines. You might have to, he'll probably correct me on it, but he did something. If you collected them all, you could win like $150 or something.
Nice. And what does Johnny? I'm not familiar with Johnny Woo. What does he do again?
It's one of our food vendors.
Oh, food. Okay, got it.
Yeah. And the cool thing about it is he actually stepped out for our show, and went to East Tennessee Distillery, and it's Mellow Moon is their brand of moonshine that they distribute nationally. He stepped up, went to him straight to the source, and said, "Look, I'm cooking. I'm doing barbecue this year. I see that you guys have your own line of moonshine-based barbecue sauces." So he's actually implementing their stuff into his food and selling.
Man, that's great when you can rely upon someone to kind of, enhance the experience, dude. And that's what he did. He kind of took it upon himself. Great, dude.
Yeah, like it's going to be good, man. You'll definitely have to hook up with him, get some good food, man. We've got Black Label powder coating. I was talking about that earlier. They'll have their booth set up. They do amazing work for anybody needing that kind of work done. He'll have everything there. He'll have a few vehicles in his booth to show off. We've got custom enclosures teamed up with Como Designs. That's our local stereo shop here. The dude has an amazing truck. It's loud, and he'll be doing some demos throughout the day. We're going to put him kind of in his own special area because I know a lot of people. Some people want to hear it, some people don't. But it's really hard to enjoy the full show experience when somebody's playing stereo all day. But if you want to hit up with him and hear it, it's loud, man. Like I said, we have a listed customs. He's going to be out there with his booth set up. He does vehicles. He does air ride on vehicles, stuff like that. But he's kind of switched over to the bike side. He's been doing a lot of big wheel bagger stuff and putting air ride on them. So he'll be there. We've got Blue Ridge Detailing. They'll be on site. They carry Croftgate products, and they actually have a shop they rent from the distillery on site. So if somebody needed like a last minute touch up, we could probably get you in there. Down for Dennis. Those are great friends of ours. Daryl Poe and his crew are just great people. I've been friends with them a long time. They always step up and support us. We step up and go right back at them. We do free registration for their show or for our show for them to give away and an award. They do the same thing for us. So that'll be another one you'll have to look out for. Somebody win that. All Time Low magazine. Really excited about this. We've got Michelle Boone, lives in Knoxville. She'll be here. You got Adam Johnson, he's from Sevierville. He's real close. He'll be here.
Oh, yeah.
And then you got Damian Davis driving in the front, coming with the Frontier. He'll be in the mini movement booth, and he's going to be shooting. So we got 3 All Time Low magazine people on site shooting. There's going to be good coverage. So that's like huge to me, and it means the world. Josh Welch's Chop Shop. They're a sponsor, dude. What they do is amazing. He always goes out of his way to take care of everybody. We got Logan Wade Photography. He shoots for Gauge Magazine. He'll be on site. He does great work, and really enjoyed his coverage last year. O'Reilly's Auto Parts will be on site with a booth set up. They'll have a bunch of stuff to give away, pins and lanyards, stuff like that to give away. That'll be cool. We've got hashtag Mini Movement. They're out there. He brings an award to every show, picks, a truck that represents the scene. He's living it. He's out here supporting shows. We love James from hashtag Mini Movement. Great guy. Jerry Dow, laying licks. He'll be on site if you need some pinstriping. Everybody knows Jerry. Who doesn't know Jerry? He's just crazy. He's a crazy old goat with the pinstriping.
Yeah.
We got Greaser Gals Clothing. They actually just jumped on this week. They sell a clothing line for girls that are in the scene. So you ladies can bring a little cash and pick up some stuff there. We've got a few others that I believe, dude. My list in my head is kind of spinning at this point, to be honest with you.
Sure.
And we've got a ton of stuff. We got vendors. There's going to be something for everybody. I do believe, just we got the lowest registration I think out there, $20, dude. We want to free your money up. Go get some moonshine slushies. Go get you a T-shirt from John. Do something.
I love it, dude, and it's it's great to see that you got so much support from the community, and then also a few big names in the industry like Drop'emware. So we can't wait. We know it's going to be a great experience for the show goers as well as the spectators and the vendors. As we kind of close it down here, wanted to just see if you want to plug any of, other than your business partners, right? So totally get that. But maybe any family, friends, club mates. I'm sure you got some other folks that are stepping up for that day, June 29th. So any plugs you want to throw out?
Yeah, dude, I got a couple of them. Bobby Wilson, he actually started a Perfect Poise chapter over here in Tennessee. He's been out. He actually went to their show the last 2 years, hung out with those guys, got his own chapter. He steps up. He puts a team together. Adam Tripp from the Spark Show's coming in. He's coming up from Knoxville. He's joining the team. Those guys will be handling all of the judging, and without them and their crew, there's no way to get done today. So definitely a big shout out to those guys. Shout out to the Spark Show. That's another event that, it's an East Tennessee thing. Nothing but love. I'm not trying to compete with anybody. Me, RJ, and Jason just want to support the scene. And everybody, we want everybody to attend every show that they can. That's what we're here for. Negative Camber, my guys, I'm a Native Camber member. We'll be on site. We won't be showing, but they'll be there, dude. They don't come for the trophies. They come to hang out, drink moonshine slushies, and have a good time with everybody. And honestly, dude, I'm going to give you a shout out because the fact that you're driving up here to come hang out with us means the world, not only to me, but to Jason and RJ as well, dude.
Hey, it's our pleasure. We love what you guys are doing. Like you mentioned it multiple times. These three key words, support the scene. And it really goes a long way when you have awesome showgoers. You got people that are building and spending a lot of money on these killer rides. Then you got people like John Moore and those type that are refurbishing classic, these vehicles 20 years ago that were raising eyebrows, and they're coming out. Same thing with Josh Ellis with the Look That Kills. So, it's great. And I tell people, and I can't say this enough, get out there, support the shows, especially a show like this, kind of a destination type show. What I mention is you go there, you get to see something a little different, get you a little bit of moonshine, and just enjoy yourself. Now, as we kind of close it down here, we've given out the Instagram a couple times, but why don't you give out, like, let's say somebody's like okay, you know what, I need a little bit more information. Maybe they have some odd question. Where's the best place for them to go, and how can they follow you guys on Instagram?
Okay, the Instagram is Instagram.com/EastTN Showdown. We don't use the Instagram as much as we should. We're just, we're old Facebook guys. I don't know.
It's all right.
We don't use it as much as we should, but I do check it daily. If you have any questions, you can shoot it to us over there. On Facebook, it's simple. Type in East Tennessee Showdown. It's going to pop up with an event page, and we also have a actual just page itself. Both of them, we update them. If I post it on one, I post it in the other. It's either a discussion on the event page or it's on the actual page for the show itself. You'll see it's posted by either, normally it's going to be me, Jason, or RJ sometimes chime in. You got a question, dude? Just click on my name, send me a message. I check those all the time as far as requests because I know that this time of year with the show that there's going to be a lot of questions. So shoot us a message, man. It's no big deal. If you have, and if you can't do that, dude, I'll give you my phone number. It's 276-780-0969. You want to come to the show? You got questions? I've got answers for you. We want to see you there.
Awesome, brother. Well, Justin Wyatt, thanks for your time. Go out there, follow the show, even if you can't make it this year. Try to mark it down next year. It's a one-day. It's a show it's going to bring a lot of media coverage. We'll be up there representing. It's about 10 and a half hour drive, and we're going to keep the pedal stomped, of course, within the speed limit all the way up. But, Jay, it's always a pleasure syncing up with you, man. Thanks for what you and your guys are doing for the scene, and we salute you, brother.
Hey, thank you, brother. I appreciate your time, man. And East Tennessee Showdown is definitely down with OLT, brother.
Yes, sir. I like it, man. All right, Airhead Nation, get out there, support East Tennessee Showdown, and we at ya. Yo, and as Mike and I mentioned this weekend, we are finally here. We love one of our most favorite shows around is Scrapin the Coast. And we talked about, we got Mr. Greg Miller on. How's it going, man?
Doing good, buddy. How you doing?
Everything is good, man. I know that you've had the pedal down. This is, I call it the flagship show of the Custom Car Show Productions family. And I know there's a lot of work that goes into it. This weekend, June 21st through the 23rd, the listeners know, they've heard the ads, that Scrapin the Coast is coming up, Biloxi, Mississippi. Why don't you share, Greg, maybe some of the high-level details, maybe some of the exciting news with the after party and things like that about the show, brother?
Yeah, man. Well, this year we decided to extend the hours on Saturday. We normally used to cut it off at 6 o'clock. But this year we decided to extend it all the way to 10 p.m. And we got DJ Getlow coming out. He is going to be playing all night long. We got stage lighting. It's going to be doing a laser light show throughout the whole grounds. He'll be looking like a rock star up there on stage. Just really trying to give the people, more things to do at our show. There's a lot of people that don't want to have to get out there on that strip and get caught up in that traffic. So we're just trying to find more ways to entertain them and bring new things to the show and make it more exciting every year.
Yeah, fantastic. It's similar to what in the Tampa Bay area, like the Rays and even Busch Gardens, they kind of do, the Rays do the after party type thing, or, extended hours with the bands playing in the outfield. And then Busch Gardens kind of does the extended hours, which we love, we love that. But there's a lot, I know, when people travel from out of town, they go to these shows and sometimes they drive 15 plus hours. And gosh, Saturday's like usually the popping off day at a show. So it's kind of cool that you don't have to shoo them out of there at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock. Now they can stay and enjoy themselves even longer.
Exactly.
Yeah, I like that. So talk to us a little bit about, we know the pre-registration ended, and that seems to go really well for you guys each year. Now, keep me honest, is there any share with us a little bit about any exclusive deals that the pre-registrants that they get by pre-registering by June 1st?
Yeah, when they pre-register, of course they save money by pre-registration, but we also offer a free shirt to everybody who pre-registers.
Got it.
Yeah, that's something most shows don't do. We give them a shirt and give them extra money and entices them to pre-register early, helps us get a little more organized for all the people that's going to be coming in there, and we appreciate them helping us out in advance because these shows are hard to carry on out your own pocket right off the bat.
Most definitely, and I got mine a few years ago when we brought a couple rides up there, and I still have it. It's a cool shirt. It's awesome that you can do that. Now, what I thought was interesting is you talk about the pre-registration, but I love the fact that you also, not just for the pre-registrations, you have some giveaways that are allocated for folks that might even come to the show and pay their way in, but just because they didn't pre-register, they still have a shot. So tell us a little bit about some of those giveaways, man.
Yep. Well, we team up with Sevier, and Sevier, we get about 10 dual packs, 10 dual pack compressor kits from them, and we try to do contests leading up to the show, and during the event we'll have things that we'll try to get people to interact and so they can win some compressors. Another thing we do is we teamed up with Intro Wheels. Intro Wheels, they donate a set of 22s to us, and what we do is everybody who registers for the show, whether you pre-register or you register at the show, if you want to register for car show, if you want to register for stereo, no matter what, if you're involved with the show by registering an event, you get a what we call a golden ticket. It is it's basically a business card is what it looks like. And you just fill out your name, your phone number, your address, and you take it to the intro booth inside the convention center. You drop it in their bucket. Hopefully you look at some of their wheels, talk to the guys, and at the end of the show, right before we get ready to do awards, we draw one lucky winner, and they automatically win a set of 22s, any style they want, whatever wheel it is they want, they win it. If 22s isn't what they want, say they want 24s, they can call intro and they can pay, the few $100 to upgrade it to 24s or 26s, whatever it is they want. They just pay the little difference. It's not that bad, but it's a pretty cool deal. It's a way to get them to swing by Intro's booth and check out their wheels and get them more foot traffic.
That's fantastic. And what's also pretty cool with that is, mini truckers and full-size guys, they often, even the hot rodders, they often need a custom offset. So because of the way you're doing it, it's not just a cookie cutter set that's over there in the box that they hand to the people. It's actually what they can pick what they want. So that's awesome, Greg.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a wheel that they want. It's not something that you're just being forced to be taken.
100%.
It's something that you're going to want for your ride and your taste.
Yeah, that's great that the Scrapin the Coast brand can partner with those awesome organizations and companies to do that. Talk to us a little bit about the shirts, right? So each year we're accustomed to seeing very awesome artwork by Fuel Market, and there's a couple different to choose from. So tell us a little bit about the shirts and maybe where they can purchase them at the show.
Yep. This year, we've always had the event T-shirts booth out there in front of the Coliseum, right out there where next to KIK is always located. However, this year we have moved the event T-shirt booth to inside the lobby of the convention center. So that way, everybody that comes through the front doors, that's the first thing you see is the event T-shirts. You don't have to stand in a long line out in that heat. You can stand in the line inside the AC and order your shirts. The one thing we're doing this year too, with us by moving it inside, is it allows us to actually open the T-shirt sales starting Friday. Before we always started on Saturday, and but now you can actually come in Friday whenever you're registering and get judged and all that. You can actually swing in there and go ahead and beat the lines and grab your show shirt in advance.
I like that. You're making the experience better. What I call the show-goer experience. I also would be willing to bet that at least one of those shirts is going to sell out quick because they do go. And I know you get a lot made, but those things go fast. People love their Scrapin the Coast shirts. That's for sure.
Oh yeah. We do about 4,500 shirts every year, and we pretty much sell out. I think we probably ended up with one time. I think we ended up with a box out of 4,500 shirts, and but we pretty much sell it every year, and it's usually almost on a Saturday. So with us opening up on Friday this year, I think they'll probably sell out pretty quick on Saturday for sure. Yeah,
Airhead Nation, get out there, get your shirt. There's a couple to choose from. I know which one's my favorite. I'm not going to say it, but there's some pretty awesome shirts there. So you mentioned we know that there's the extended hours, we'll call it, for the show, which I think is awesome. You kind of hinted at the after party. So talk to us a little bit about the after party and maybe where it's situated and kind of what you anticipate going on there, Greg.
Yeah, now the official after party is at the Gulfport Dragway. It is off of Canal Road, off the I-10, and now it goes on from 6 o'clock till whenever they feel like closing the gate out there. They do racing out there. They do burnouts. It gets pretty crazy out there at times, and that's the official after party. And then, like I said, we're doing the extended hours on the grounds right there at the main stage at the show.
And you'd anticipate guys doing burnouts over there, obviously drag racing. It's going to be kind of a festive environment, so to speak, and it's in that, give or take, is probably 10, 15 minutes, or about 10 miles or so from the show.
Yeah, it's probably about a 10, 15-minute ride. It's, like I said, if you just get back up on the interstate, head west, you'll see the Canal Road exit, just go south, and they're probably about a mile and a half down on the left-hand side. Very easy to get to.
Perfect, man. So the other aspect of the show that I'm just really excited about is a couple of things, right? So we always talk about this whole minis on the rise movement. When I see some of the things that you guys have been promoting and some of the guests that you're going to have there, like Tilt Bed Evolution, I think that's something really cool that Jeremy French was a recent guest, and he talked a little bit about being there. I'm super excited that he made that commitment, and he's going to be there to show off what he's been doing with this whole evolution. How awesome is that, Greg?
That's pretty awesome, man. We're excited. We've noticed this past year that minis they're making a strong comeback real fast. I don't ever want to say that they were gone out of the scene, but
sure.
They were slowly fading away, and all of a sudden it just seems like this past year we were seeing a strong comeback with the minis and the whole tilt bed. I mean, that's that was a thing that I grew up with. If you had a mini truck, you had a tilt bed or
yeah.
Something old school like that, and we think it's pretty cool. Jeremy hit us up and proposed his idea to us, and man, I thought it was a great idea, and anything that we can do to help the mini scene come back stronger than what it was before, we're behind it 100%.
I love it, man. And I'd remind everyone you can follow Jeremy on Instagram. It's Coming Up Aces altogether, number 7. Go out there, check out what he's doing. He's also got the Tilt Bed Evolution Facebook page. So get out there. I know that's going to make for some epic photos and videos, and that evolution that he's leading. This is going to help him by getting out to the shows and doing what he does. So it's awesome that he's willing to kind of make the trip. So good stuff there.
Yep.
Now, speaking of a trip, we got the guys from down South Florida, a legend in the scene, and they're behind the Reds Hydraulics down in Miami, right? So you got Frank from Diesel Wheels and /Reds. How awesome is it gonna be to have some hydros going there, like the old school, Greg?
Yeah, that's what's awesome about it, man. Frank is when you think about hydraulics, back in the day, Frank was the pioneer of it, Red's Hydraulics. I mean, if you had hydraulics on your vehicle back in the day, it was Red's Hydraulics, and to have them come out and support our show, I mean, that's pretty awesome to us.
I remember seeing him at the first Slam Fest that I went to back in the day, and it just, to me, like you mentioned a moment ago with the tilt beds and some of the stuff that's going on there, and then you couple in the hydraulic aspect, I mean, there's really no reason why someone can't get out there and go to the show and really enjoy themselves, whether it be the extended hours, the awesome shirts, the air conditioning. I mean, you name it. You've got a little bit of everything going on there. Now, speaking of everything going on there, we've seen this craze. People love the corn toss. Tell us a little bit about a little tournament that might be going on there.
Yeah, it's something that we started, I say probably about 4 years ago. We just seen everybody was into cornhole, so we figured we'd do a cornhole tournament. And man, it doesn't cost anybody any money. It's free but you have to be a registered participant. We don't want any outsiders coming in. It's for registered participants only. So we don't charge nothing. They come out. We want them to have a good time. We have a good friend of ours here, Brett Ladner. He makes all the cornhole boards for us. He actually screen prints the artwork from the T-shirts onto the cornhole boards, and we do a couple sets of that. And the winner of the cornhole tournament, the teams, them two people, they each get a set of cornhole boards to take home with them.
That's awesome, man. It's cool that you, from a show promoter perspective, one thing I always appreciate is, these companies are often, they talk about the customer experience, and they always want a good experience, whether it be a restaurant or a cellular company. But like in your business with the show, especially like Scrapin, you're always looking to kind of take it to the next level. And I know that takes a lot of work and the thought, and you run in ideas by some of your partners and stuff, in terms of who helps you. So that's really awesome, Greg. So let's talk a little bit about the awards. Not that anybody goes to shows for awards, but we do know that that's a big piece. you've got a lot of specialty awards, but I know Doug Johnson really comes through with what he does. Talk to us about the acrylic Talk to us about the acrylic awards.
Yeah, Doug Johnson. He owns Creative Designs. He does all of our awards for us every year. They're acrylic awards. He screen prints all of the artwork on the award. They're like I said, they're acrylics. They freestand, and that's what we give away for all the classes, the first, second, and third place.
And they always look damn good. I love, how you incorporate the artwork as well. So, those are a nice thing to put on a mantle or in the man cave. And then there's this big piece, right, that you always have on display at the show with a lot of the, I guess, lack of better terms, the specialty awards, right? And a lot goes into those. Yep. I know those aren't cheap. That's always an exciting aspect because I can tell you when I was there a few years ago, I remember when Juan from Severed Cali, he won one of those awards, and dude, he was like just beyond just stoked, man, because they're so nice.
Yeah. Joe Vincent does our surfboards. He kills it on them. Joe has a amazing talent, and he takes them surfboards, and what we think what we're going to expect is usually what he did the year before, and every year when he comes out, he always outdoes himself. Comes up with new ideas. That way, they're not the same looking boards every year. And he knocks some surfboards out, and people come from all over the place to get them surfboards. I have people that come all the way from Canada and Oregon and California, and you name it, Pennsylvania, New York. They come in hopes to get one of them surfboards. But we also have old Brandon McCoy with Gooch Pinstripe, and he does our the Promoter's Choice Awards. He does the metal tikis, and he custom paints those up and does them as well, and we give those out as well, and they're pretty sick.
And speaking of awards, man, just to be clear, because on the last episode, Mike and I talked about this. You have to be there for those specialty awards, right? Especially the surfboards, because those things, you don't want to damage them. And they couldn't, the effort that goes into them, right, Greg? You got to be there to take it home with you because you can't just ship that stuff.
Right. Yeah, those awards, when we pick out those awards, you have to be there on Sunday. You have to be there for award ceremony. Like I said, we don't want a chance damaging them, trying to get them to somebody. Not to mention the surfboards, they're just so huge that, if somebody wins one of them, they're definitely going to want them. So we definitely have to hold on to them for a long period of time and all that. So we just made it to where, if you have a vehicle that's worthy for a specialty award, you need to make sure you stick around on Sunday to receive that award and get your pictures taken and so everybody can see exactly who you was and what vehicle you built.
Hells yeah, brother. So you mentioned a moment ago about the travel piece. It blew my mind last year when I was at the show and Chaos Design was there. The gal, I'll call her, the Aussie mini trucker who loves photography and video. It's my understanding she's making the truck again this year.
Yes, she is. She is going to be here. I think it's next Thursday. She's coming all the way from Australia. Her name's Jasmine Green. She's a really cool chick. Does amazing photography and videography, and I think this is her third time coming to Scrapin the Coast.
Well,
all the way from Australia.
Yeah, and what it proves to me is you've got people that might live in the same state or a couple states over, or maybe 8-hour drive. It really, to me, and it's something that I talked about in the last episode a little bit with truck clubs and going to shows and stuff. It's like, look, if somebody can come from another continent, let's be honest, it's right. Like people need to, get up off their feet and go to shows and support, especially a show like this, Greg. It's not, an easy one to put on, but you continue to enhance it and take it to the next level is the way I look at it each year. And it's a show that, man, you got to get out there and support the real deal, man.
Oh yeah, and I always say, get out and support all shows. Every show out there, whether it's a small show, it's a big show, what have you, there's a lot of work that these promoters put, into these shows to make it happen. And you got to get out there and support them. Like I said, whether it's just a local show, a small show, a large show, it doesn't matter. I mean, these promoters put a ton of work, a ton of money into these shows, and you got to get out and support them. Because if you don't support them, then they can't do it again the next time. And if promoters can't do it the next time, then before you know it, you don't have no shows left to enjoy your hobby.
100%. You and I, we talked a little bit at Relaxin in the Park St. Louis, and that's something that I think the average person that maybe hasn't talked to you, they may not realize. They might say, well, yeah, Greg has his own shows, and he only wants you to go to his shows, and it's like that couldn't be further from the truth. And you kind of gave me a few examples how it's like, look, you and Sean, you guys rolled up there. That wasn't an easy drive, right? I mean, that's a good ways away. And I think like what you said really resonated with me, where you said, if people don't have shows, I can't come out here and slap hands with people and say, hey, don't forget about my show, right? Or you can't go out and enjoy yourself with your car. So I think that's something that is often overlooked when people want to say, oh, well, Greg Miller and Custom Car Show Productions, what have they done for me? And it's like, look, I'm going out, I'm supporting the scene. You guys should do the same.
Yeah. I mean, I've actually had people come to me before and say, hey, I'm sure I bet you're glad that show's not here no more. And that's the furthest from the truth, because to be honest with you, if shows fall off, then like I said, that's not only is that a show that I can't go and meet new people and try to convince them to come to my show or all that, but I mean that's a show that I can't go out and enjoy either.
I like it, man. I
so
like
you
the way
support them all.
Yeah, I like the way you say that, and you guys hear the advertisement from Custom Car Show Productions, in the episodes, and the awesome thing is, with you guys having Orange Beach Invasion, Scrapin the Coast, SikNic, and then oh by the way, Bayou Showdown in November, it really reinforces like you guys have spread your shows out, and there's plenty enough shows out there as well for everyone to attend in between. So I always like how you guys have that thought process.
Oh yeah. We spread our shows out, but even during those, like I said, even in between those times, we're at everybody else's show. If you don't see me at your show, chances are my partner's at your show. But we are trying to hit everybody's show. There's not a show out there that we don't support. We support them all.
And that was evident. I remember hearing the story a few years ago. I think you were at Forbidden Fantasy, right? So our friend Brian and the whole FFF team, you're out there, you're enjoying yourself. And it seemed like after that show, it clicked in your head to make a decision to put NR Caddy Queen, Christina's car, I think, on one of your shirts, right? So that just proves how you're always out there, you're thinking, you're going, hey, that's an awesome ride. Maybe we could how can we tie that in? And I love that, you did the West Coast nod with that car on the shirt.
Yep. Yeah, that's the one thing with us doing so many shirts. That's the one thing. It's hard every year trying to find more vehicles. We don't have our T-shirt guy just draw up, ideas out of his head of vehicles. We use, we're kind of like the Ron Perkins. We actually use real builds,
Oh, yeah.
Somebody that's in the scene. Every shirt you see of ours, that's an actual vehicle that's on the street somewhere, and so to hit all these shows and trying to find, some really badass vehicles that are worthy to be on our shirts, that's something that we also look for, every minute that we're at a show.
100%, man. And we see that. We see the hustle. Now, I did want to hit on, too, Scrapin, SCRAPIN, thecoast.com is a great, easy-to-use website. You've got a lot of good information out there, whether it be the register piece, the info, sponsors, you name it. But I know there's a few sponsors that we often will call title sponsors, right? So did you want to maybe hit upon them and kind of give them a nod? Because I know without them, these shows become very, very difficult.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, one of our biggest sponsors is Budweiser. American Force, they're always a big supporter. We got Primitive Vape this year. They're a vape company that is they're out there beating the streets trying to get their name out. Arturo Tire, they're a big sponsor behind our show. We got Locker Down. I don't know if many of y'all probably don't recognize the name much, but last year at Scrapin the Coast, they were behind the stage. They had they make safes that you install into your center console. It's a digital safe. Pretty cool. Yeah, we got Jake from Fat Fabs coming out. Vier, of course. They support us with our shows and anything we need, we can call the folks over Vier. They always take care of us. Slam Specialties, same thing with them. We need anything, we just give them a call. They always, we work in conjunction with them. Intro Wheels. I mean, there's a lot of companies out there that support us every year, and we appreciate everything they do for us.
Most definitely. And I always remind people when they go to this show, driving in the South, we don't really have the love bugs right now, but with the grime on the streets and stuff, they can always have Sparkles Detail. I think at the show, they also will come to your ride and they'll clean it right there on the spot.
Yep. If you hit up Tim and Tanya in advance, you can go ahead and get on a schedule. They'll have you lined up to get you detailed, hopefully before the show, but they are on site, definitely cleaning people's vehicles. And, like I said, you get out there in that heat and all that, you don't feel like cleaning after you just got done making that long drive. They'll do the work for you, and they do it. They do it at a reasonable price as well.
Hells to the yeah, brother. So we wouldn't want to end this episode without mentioning on the last episode, 131, we talked to a good friend of yours, right? And he mentioned to me that, he's known you a long time, Doc. Doc,
yep.
He really gave a lot of love and respect to the Scrapin the Coast show and what you've done. You allow Doc and his teammate to come out there and raise some funds. And, dude, it's not often, Greg, that we hear people doing things like this for a good cause. And I just wanted to really, just get any thoughts that you have on the whole cruising for a cause, because it is a special thing, man.
Yeah, cruising for a cause, man. It's something that's near and dear to us. It started off that they come out and asked us if they can, set up something at our show to raise money for a friend of theirs. It was a club member, and we, anything you can do to help somebody in the scene, shoot, yeah, come on out, do whatever you got to do, help them, and it was just such a big hit that we just made it to be a part of the show, and along the way, I think this is like the 6th, maybe 7th year, something like that. But along the way, they've helped my friends, and it really means a lot to us. So we do whatever we can to support cruising for a cause. And Doc and Matt, they've just done, I don't think they realize just, exactly how much they've touched people's lives by helping them out.
Yeah,
like I say, it's an awesome. It's an awesome concept to help people in the scene.
Yeah, and it was a pleasure meeting him. I've seen him at shows. I don't think I've ever really talked to him, and it just I love when someone like him says, I got a good job. I don't need the money. We do it for this,
right.
and this, and it's all for good. Like, you just go, man. You can't help but want to just go, hey, what do you guys need, man? We'll help you out. So, very cool stuff. Just kind of an off question, as we kind of wrap it up here. You're a show promoter, and you often, you're putting in long hours. I've seen I call it the command center there at the Coliseum, where you got all of the people that help you and some of the workers and whatnot. You guys are in a room, and you're like, okay, we got to do this, and we got to do this giveaway, and there's just so many things going on. And then when you finish a show like Scrapin the Coast, and you kind of sit back and you see all the elements that went into it, in your mind, Greg, what is it for you in your mind that says, what, it was a success? Just from Greg Miller, the show promoter.
Oh yeah, man. The hardest part about putting that show on is you got to wrap everything up in basically 3 days, and so we are 100 miles an hour. 100 miles an hour the whole weekend. You're being tugged here, tugged there. It's the stress level is through the roof. Making sure everybody's taken care of, making sure everything's done right. and everybody has a great experience. And oh man, behind the scenes, that's what a lot of people don't know is just behind the scenes. There's times you got to take breathers. You think you're about to lose it and everything, but the moment I get up on that stage, and the moment that I've been doing these shows for 28 years, and it's easy for me to get out in front of a crowd and all that. I ain't gonna lie, when I first, every time I get on that stage, when I first get on there, man, my heart's going 100 miles an hour, but the moment I start calling out the first name, I relax, I call out all the awards, but what does it for me is when I'm standing on that stage and I see all them people standing out there, and I see all the vehicles riding around, and all the vehicles, and everybody that came to the show and had a great time, and everybody who got on the internet and thanked us for coming out and having a good time, that makes it all worthwhile, and it makes me want to do it again the following year.
Yeah, it's like fuel to the fire. And, on top of that, I tell people all the time, icing on the cake, people put a lot of money in their rides, and you go to a show like this, whether you're indoors or outdoors, you got a beautiful landscape right there. You overlook the Gulf. Then, oh, by the way, you got a lot of media there, whether it be Street Trucks, All Time Low magazine, many other magazines and online media outlets. And best be sure, man, if you got something pretty cool, you're going to get featured in something out there, that's for sure. And I remember a couple years ago, the damn news was there. In the real Matt Smith, he was even on the damn news, the local news. So, man, you got a whole community that's behind you, man, and that's fucking awesome, brother.
Yeah. We appreciate everybody's support, Like I said, we can't do it without everybody else, We're just four guys that, had a vision of putting on a badass show one day, and like I said, the show couldn't be successful without everybody, as far as participants, the media, the sponsors, you name it, everybody makes the show a success.
Well, 100%, dude. We love hearing it, and I know it's a big collaborative team effort. I would remind everyone, Scrapin the Coast show on Instagram. There's a huge cult following there. Facebook, obviously, is where many of us kind of live, so you can search Scrapin the Coast, select that you're interested or that you're going. That way you can kind of join in the discussion. And even though this is Wednesday before the show, if there's any late-breaking content that Greg and team has to get out, you best know that they're going right to Facebook. And don't forget, they're also on Twitter. I know there's not a huge mini truck following out there, but go out on Twitter and follow them as well. Greg, man, thanks for what you do. And we're always excited to be at a Custom Car Show production event. And we love what you guys do for the scene. So thanks to you and your partners and the friends and family that help you guys.
Oh, hey, thank you. Thank you for having us on here. And thank you all for, covering our event and helping us get the word out there. And like I said, we couldn't do it without y'all. We appreciate it.
Everybody go check out the after hours deal, or if you want to make it over to the official after party, enjoy yourselves. Don't do anything too crazy because Greg, he's not there to clean up y'all's messes. So take care of the showgrounds, throw your trash out, do what you got to do. But most importantly, wear some sunblock, stay hydrated, and just enjoy you guys yourself. And Greg, thanks again for your time, brother. And this coming weekend, best of luck to you and the entire team.
Thank you, man. We appreciate it.
Airhead Nation, we out ya. Peace.
Hey, what's happening? You know the rules. Trust nothing. Stay on your toes. Always moving. Active. Fuck all haters. Fuck and what? West Coast for life. You dig? Killer Cali, y'all.
Okay. Your nigga big to this grinding, cackalack chucks and my jewels shining. Moving through the traffic, banging this classic. Police passing, I'm smoking and laughing. I was happening, coming out the city. The talk of this new shit, got the grimy gritty. It's a lot of niggas yapping like bitches, cause your nigga to the trapping and my bars is ridiculous. I'm in Comptown, the next day I'm out of town, doing the show, getting paid for my get down. Sit it down, baby, your groupies go crazy. Yeah, I know Snoopy Daddy being Tracy. I'm churching, haters try to close the curtains. 80 baby smirking, leaving niggas smirking. I'm on the lake with my feet up, Goldie driving the boat to beat up. Ace stay keyed up, nigga.
If you posted on the block real late, and you out there moving away,
Always stay on your toes.
If you eat no ends and steak, please believe motherfuckers are always stay on your toes. If you dressed in some gangster clothes and you ride no D's, I always stay on your toes. If you out there doing shows out of town fucking with them, I always stay on your toes.
I smoke kush blunts for my growing pains, stretching the game from Compton to the Ukraine. Rose popper, keep the youngsters with the chopper. Hef want the whole damn enchilada. West Coast to the casket. Living my life so fantastic. Trust no bitch, trust no snitch. A-Rod chips, houses and whips. Hustlers and pimps, bloods and crips. Rag 63 with the hot ass lips. Exotic vacations and trips. G'd up in the gangster apparel. Juice and Johnny got me looking like a pharaoh. Big Willie, Tokyo, Japan. Ask about Kivo, they'll tell you I'm the man. Understand?
If you always hanging out in the hood and you know a nigga up, you got to always stay on your toes. Talking dollars like a hustler would, straight packing that nut, you got to always stay on your toes. In the low, no subbing the beat, hitting corners, riding through, you got to always stay on your toes. Hanging out with them gangster niggas, putting it down straight, bringing, you got to always stay on your toes.
I stay alert, low key, like an alarm on the whip. Know I'm from the hood, better check my script. Getting money, blowing dro, ain't tripping off them fraud niggas, Run my dick in my balls, nigga. Always grinding for something big, never small figures. Yeah, you better check your fucking broad, nigga. Mine strapped tight like the Glock on my hip. Yeah, your best man might be plotting on your shit. You better watch your moves, you better watch who you with. It's real, they'll smile in your face and take your shit. In certain scenarios, get your wig tossed quick. Besides that, it's diamonds on my wrist, pinky like a chandelier. KD's in the building, better watch if you step with that fuckboy twist. Got some goons that'll come through and fuck your whole clique. Besides that, it's diamonds on my wrist.
Once again, West Coast fools, and know that. International with it. You dig? Japan to Iran, motherfucker. We run things. God damn it, it's the 2010 version. Line get pushed. Hop in the car, motherfucker, or get ran over. You dig? The 2010 version. Always stay on your tippy toes, motherfucker. I'd rather get you before you get me type shit. LA style, Long Beach to Watts, Compton, all the way to the Bay. Stay on your toes.